Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Tiara and I am the owner of Black Teacup. In this video today, I'm going to be showing you guys how I created a Wonder Woman tumbler. I posted it to my social media about a month ago, so go check that out. I also followed along with Caitlin from Chimp, so I will link her video below. Check it out, it was super helpful. Mixing epoxy now, 8 ounces. But yeah, come on, let's go get started. So I'm using a 15-ounce Skinny Plus tumbler by Hog that I ordered from Stainless Steel Depot. I always start my cups by sanding them first. When I first started doing cups, I used to use sanding paper or like a sanding block and sand them by hand. But the more I start doing cups and the more orders I got, it was just too much. So I found this palm sander at Walmart. I think it was about 20 bucks. I will link it below, and it really does help with the process. When you're sanding, you want to sand all the way around, get all those edges, the top, and make sure it's scratched up really good. Alright, so next I have my template here. I got the template from glitterchimp.com, and it's going to cut out 2 pieces. I used my Silhouette Cameo to cut out the template. And you're going to overlap both pieces. It doesn't have to be straight. In the middle, like you'll see some ridges and bumps on mine. But once you overlap it, you just want to make sure your edges and seams are pressed all the way down and eyeball it in the middle as best as you can. So next I'm going to take some Mod Podge and acrylic paint. I'm using blue acrylic paint, red acrylic paint, and I forgot to use the gold. But what you want to do is tint the Mod Podge so that you get better coverage with your glitter. So here I just added a few drops of blue, maybe 1 drop of blue, and you want to just stir it up and apply it to your cup in a smooth layer. You don't want any streaks and lines. Try to make it as smooth as possible. Once you have your Mod Podge on there, you want to go ahead and pour your glitter. I am using Marine by Recollections that I got from Michael's. I put a piece of paper underneath to catch the excess glitter so I can put it back in the container. Here's a picture of the glitters I use. I will link them down below as well. So here I am cleaning up the excess glitter, just fold it in half and carefully pour it back in the container. I have spilled mine way too many times, so be careful. So next I'm going in with the red. I am using Arteza paint, and I just put 1 drop in my Mod Podge and I'm going to stir it up. Once it's blended nicely, I'll go ahead and apply it to my cup in a smooth layer once again. Try to avoid any streaks. I just put my cup on a football with a PVC pipe to hold it. I got the football from the dollar store. I did not wait any time between applying the blue and the red. The blue is still wet right now, but it's okay. You can go ahead and go in with your red. Once you have all the Mod Podge around the cup smooth, go ahead and go in with your glitter. Don't forget to put your paper down to catch the excess. So normally I use epoxy method to apply my glitter, but for this particular style of cup, I used Mod Podge. So I will go in with a second layer. Just repeat these same steps again. I decided to use Mod Podge for this cup because of the 2 different glitter colors and just for filming purposes. I will make a video of me doing the epoxy method as well. So here I'm applying a second thin layer of epoxy. This is not tinted, it's just plain white epoxy. Go ahead and go over the raw glitter. It's only been drying about maybe 20 to 30 minutes, so it's okay to go right back in for a second coat. Coat it with glitter. Catch the excess, and then do the same thing for the red. Go over the red with plain white Mod Podge in a thin, smooth layer all the way around, and then you'll add your glitter. Applying glitter to this style of cup is really easy since it doesn't involve ombre or blending. You have solid colors. You just have to be careful to have clean lines in between the colors. So I have all of the Mod Podge applied all the way around. I'm going to go in with my red glitter again. Make sure I got full coverage, catch the excess, and put it back in the container. I really need to find bigger papers to put under my cups because I make such a mess with the glitter. Alright, so I let this cup dry for about 30 minutes and then I went back in and peeled the middle piece of the template. That's the piece that's dividing the red from the blue, and that section's going to be gold. Now I did forget to tint my Mod Podge on this first layer, but it's okay. You can still use plain white epoxy. You do not have to tint your epoxy. I just feel like it helps with the glitter coverage having the same base. So you have to be very careful going in between these two lines because you don't want to get Mod Podge in the blue or the red because that'll stick the gold glitter. I did work in sections for this because you really want to take your time to make sure that you don't get that gold glitter in the red or the blue. So I did a little bit at a time. Added some Mod Podge, add the glitter. You've got to take your time if you want the nice clean lines. Do not go fast on this step. Also, the gold glitter that I'm using is a little chunkier than the blue and the red. So I am going to go through with my finger and kind of tap it down really softly. That'll help when you're epoxying so that you won't have as many rough spots and you won't have to do as many layers. I let the cup dry overnight and then I took it out the next day and sprayed it with Rust-Oleum Clear. I think I did 3 or 4 coats. You want to make sure it's very well sealed so that your glitter does not move when you go to epoxy it. So next I'm going to apply my first layer of epoxy. I used Pro Marine and here I mixed about 60 ml. So 30 of part A and 30 of part B. You want to mix it until it's clear. It should not be foggy and it should not be streaky. And you want to mix it slowly so that you don't have many micro bubbles. Make sure you scrape around the sides and scrape your stick off. Now, once that's all mixed, when I go to apply, I apply the epoxy to one color glitter at a time. So first I'm applying to the red, and then I'll apply to the blue, and then finally the gold. And the reason I do this again is so that I minimize the risk of spreading that glitter around. I know we sprayed it with the clear coat, but this is just the extra step to be cautious and not spread the glitter. So after I have the cup fully epoxied, I go in with my torch to pop any micro bubbles. And I also babysit my cup. I'll come back and check on it maybe every 15 minutes to make sure I don't have any issues or bubbles or lips forming around the lid. I'll let this cup spin for about 4 hours and then I'm going to immediately go in with a second coat of epoxy just to make sure everything's nice and smooth before we apply our decals. So while my cup is curing, I went ahead and cut out my decals using my Cameo. For this cup, I used heat transfer vinyl because I followed along with Caitlin over at Chimp. This is my first time using heat transfer vinyl. Normally I use permanent 651 vinyl, but I wanted to try something new. So I cut out all my designs on my Silhouette Cameo and here I am weeding them, getting them ready for my cup once my cup is cured. If you decide to use heat transfer vinyl, you will need a heat gun to bring some heat in order for the decal to adhere to the cup. I don't think I will ever use heat transfer vinyl again as it was a process. It did take longer than just using regular permanent vinyl. I ended up burning my hands and I had to go put on gloves. So be careful if you use heat transfer vinyl. In hindsight, rewatching Caitlin's video, I see that she made contact with her heat gun and the vinyl. She actually held the heat gun up to the vinyl, so maybe that would have made it a little easier. I didn't do that and I didn't realize that she was doing that at the time. I'm going to continue to add heat and press and burnish until the decal fully adheres to the cup. I did a second Wonder Woman cup after this one, and I used regular permanent vinyl. That one went a little quicker than this one, but again, I'm new to the heat transfer vinyl. So you want to continue to add your decals. In order to line them up, I usually stand my cup up on my desk or something. Stand it up straight so that you can see and eyeball it to make sure it is straight. You want to put your red star in between the red and the blue, kind of in the middle of the gold crown. And I am doing that with the heat gun. Next, I'm going in and adding my stars. I cut these stars out using a permanent silver shiny vinyl. They're kind of like stickers. You just place it wherever you want to. I didn't have any pattern I followed, and they are different sizes. So I just kind of eyeballed it and placed them wherever I saw fit. Here's the cup with all the decals in place. It is ready for the final layer of epoxy. I did not spray seal this cup. I just went into my final layer. There's no bumps or rough spots, so that's why I went ahead and did my final layer of epoxy. If you did have rough spots, you would have wanted to sand that before you placed your decals. So I've used about 40 to 50 ml of epoxy. And here's the final cup. And I'm also going to show you a picture of the second one I did. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And thanks for watching. And finally, feel free to join our Facebook group, Black Teacup Community. We do giveaways there. I share behind the scenes content and early access to some of my videos. All right, thanks for watching.